So, as you can see, I have been joined by the legend that is John Heald. You are brand ambassador for Carnival Cruise Lines, and you've certainly been part of the UK cruise community for a long, long time. So, how are you? Where are you? And how's things?
Thank you for having me. And as you can see, I'm not a brand ambassador for Tony and Guy. So I apologize for the lockdown here. I'm in Essex. Things are good. We're doing our best to keep all of our guests connected to the cruise line. And out of all of the negatives, and there's been lots of them, there's with all the cancellations and changes, the positive is that thousands and thousands of people are booking. They want to cruise. They miss the sound of the sea. They miss the joys of cruising and it being the best vacation in the world.
Couldn't agree more. And you used to be a cruise director, of course, for Carnival Cruise Lines. So how is the life of a cruise director? Is it as much fun as it looks?
It is. It's. I should point out that it's been a few years since I've been a cruise director. It's definitely a young person's game now. They wobble and they do all these TikTok dances and they stand on bars dancing. It's, I used to tell a joke about an elephant and a nun, but anyway, less of that. That things have changed, but it's a brilliant vocation. And whether you're a cruise director for Carnival, Cunard, or Princess, or Royal, or whoever, it's a privileged job. And not only do you have the responsibility of providing all the entertainment and everything else, but in the cases of difficult times, the cruise director is still the voice of the ship. So he or she, it's a big job, and I miss it. I do miss it.
And like all crew and officers, it's incredibly hard work, but it's done. I mean, it makes people's holidays, doesn't it? That interaction with crew, but also with the cruise director and the entertainment team, it really does make people's holidays.
I think so. And I think if there is a position on board that most people know of, be even those that haven't cruised yet, thanks to, the Love Boat and other things, I think people are aware that there is a cruise director or a entertainment director, whatever they may be called. So yes, it is. It's a big responsibility because they can make a great cruise, a brilliant cruise, and that's the reward is hearing the laughter, and as they walk off the gangway, people remembering your name and saying thank you for a wonderful time.
Talking about entertainment on ships, and I know we've had this conversation before about how it's evolved and changed, but I'm thinking, of course, that the new Carnival Cruise Line ship has a roller coaster on board. I mean, that development and that extent of investment in cruise entertainment has really changed dramatically, hasn't it?
It has. And, nowadays we all have to build ships that have the space for all the bells and all the whistles, because if we don't put the bells and whistles on, then we're not going to attract as many new customers. And of course, as much as we love our loyal guests more than anything, we have to attract new people to cruising. And having a roller coaster at sea, which we're calling Bolt, B-O-L-T, Bolt, it's going to give you extraordinary views of the ocean as you go up and down. And who would have thought when I first started, and I used to push a piece of scenery out on wheels during the show, Sunshine Express, 4 dancers. I used to push, that was the cruise director's job. I used to have to push the scenery change, which looked like, my 11-year-old daughter had just painted. And now we've got this roller coaster at sea. We've got multi-million-dollar shows. We've got restaurants with famous chefs. We've got, a comedy club and surprises in the atrium and all of these grand, incredible things on a massive, massive ship. And it's going to be extraordinary. And, we can't wait to get it to Port Canaveral and get guests on board.
A lot of Carnival ships are based out in the Caribbean. Is that a great place for those who haven't been, is that a great place to take a cruise holiday?
Yeah. Whenever a British person says to me, we want to cruise, where do you recommend? After saying taking a trip up and down the estuary here in Southend-on-Sea, which should be everybody's first cruise experience.
Always.
Not that my Uncle Dave runs a boat, Dave's cut. No, never mind. No, people ask me, and I always say the Caribbean. Sometimes I say the Caribbean, and then my father in heaven looks down at me and says, "I never taught you that, John. Sorry, Dad." So it's the Caribbean. Yeah, Caribbean. Brits love the Caribbean, and it's whether it's Aruba or Jamaica or going to places like the Mexican Riviera, the Cayman Islands. These are the places which I really recommend you cruise to, because it's just everything that you think of, and it's your slice of paradise.
Yeah, absolutely. Destinations are great. The other thing, interesting bit about your career as a cruise director, I guess, is that you attended or are part of christenings for a lot of ships. So christenings are a huge event. So there must have been a huge responsibility for you to kind of compare and host them.
Yeah, I did 17, 18 actually. Plus I've done every one since, as in this new role. They never used to be. It was, cut a ribbon, bottle smashes. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. And if it doesn't, all the Italians were very superstitious, But then one of the cruise lines, then P&O, who's part of our corporation, they had a brilliant naming ceremony, James Bond style, with Helen Mirren.
That's right.
And that sort of raised the bar from here to, all the way up. And then everybody started clambering on this. We've got to do more. And so, yeah, it's a huge thing now, normally with somebody very famous, normally with somebody that has a really big influence on online or on television. I know exactly what you're going to ask me. Who's your favorite godmother, Andy? Good question. And there is only one who's miles above the rest, and that was Dame Judi Dench, who christened our Carnival legend on the pier in Harwich. The band of Her Majesty's Royal Marines parading. I introduced her, and this little lady came on and stood next to the microphone and then stood back and boomed this theatrical voice and had the hairs of everybody standing on end. It was the most incredible thing. And I'd spoken too much, shocker. Judy did a long thing, and the thing of the tide, this is the ship, right? And the rope, and the tide had turned, so the ship had gone down and the rope was loose, and then she cut the ribbon and the bottle went poof, and it didn't break. So everybody's like, oh! So I ran off, I walked quickly off stage, grabbed the bottle, grabbed the captain, grabbed Dame Judi Dench, and we walked up the gangway. And I said to Judy, do you mind with the captain? He'll do it with you. Could you smash it manually against the... And so they went bang, and the bottle broke, but the wind blew champagne all the way back into Judy. And she was completely soaked. And the front page of the Sun the next day said, Judy Drench.
Love it. Love it. We love a christening. They're always such great occasions to celebrate new ships. In terms of destination you're most looking forward to this year, where would you like to cruise to?
This year, the serious answer is anywhere.
Yeah.
I just want to get people back to cruising, right? Whether we're going to the Caribbean or Alaska or Europe or, the cruise industry provides jobs for thousands and thousands of people all the way around the world, pretty much every country in the world. And it supplies tourist revenue to countries and islands that are absolutely on their knees without us being there. So, simple answer, the island of anywhere.
Yeah. Sounds good to me. John, it's always a pleasure to chat to you. Thank you so much for joining us, and best wishes for the new year.
Thank you. And I hope to see you very soon, Andy. Cheers.